Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you felt like your day actually ran you instead of the other way around? You wake up, you reach for your phone before you've even taken a breath, you grab coffee, skip breakfast, or eat something random, sit down to work while you're still half asleep, and somewhere around 2 in the afternoon, you hit a wall so hard it might as well be made of concrete. Sound familiar? Here's the thing nobody tells you. That isn't a willpower problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's actually a biology problem. And biology problems have biology solutions. Your body is running on an incredibly sophisticated 24-hour cycle, and everything from your hormones to your heart rate to your ability to focus is shifting in a very predictable rhythm throughout every single day. The Earth spins once every 24 hours. Your biology syncs up to that spin through something written directly into your DNA. So today, we're breaking down an entire day, from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you fall back asleep, through the lens of neuroscience, real protocols, backed by real research, and practical enough that you can actually use them. Let's start from the very beginning, the moment you wake up. Before you check a single notification, do one thing. Write down what time it is. That sounds almost offensively simple. But here's why it matters. Your body temperature follows a predictable curve across 24 hours. It dips to its absolute lowest point roughly 2 hours before you naturally wake up. Scientists call this your temperature minimum, and it's one of the most powerful reference points you have for structuring the rest of your day. If you tend to wake up around 6:30 a.m., your temperature minimum was sitting somewhere around 4:30 a.m. Keep that number in mind. We're coming back to it. The second thing you want to do after waking? Move your body forward, get up and walk. Not because you're trying to burn calories or log steps, though those benefits are real. The bigger prize here is something called optic flow, the streaming of visual information past your eyes as you move through space. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have shown that this type of forward motion actively reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. Less amygdala activation means less background anxiety. You're essentially pressing a reset button on your nervous system before the day has a chance to stress you out, and you're doing it without a single supplement, device, or subscription. Now, that walk needs to happen outdoors, because while you're out there, you're doing something even more critical. You're getting sunlight into your eyes. The single most important thing you do all day might be something you're not doing. Your eyes contain a special class of neurons, not for seeing shapes or reading text, but purely for detecting light intensity and communicating one message to the rest of your body. It's daytime. Wake up. When those neurons get activated by natural morning light, they set off a cascade of hormonal and chemical signals throughout your entire system. One of the most important signals is the release of cortisol. Now, I know you've heard cortisol framed as the villain in most wellness conversations. And if it's chronically elevated, sure, it causes problems. But the short, sharp burst of cortisol that naturally peaks between 7 and 8 a.m., that one's actually your friend. Research published in 2024 through the journal Sleep confirmed that cortisol rhythms are central to synchronizing your body's internal clocks, supporting immune function, metabolism, mood, and alertness. Cortisol's peak secretion occurs in the morning between 7 and 8 a.m., and this pattern is controlled by the circadian clock in the hypothalamus, coordinating physiology and behavior with the environment. PubMed Central. The key is timing. You want that cortisol pulse arriving early, not dragging out until noon because you slept in with the blackout curtains drawn. Getting 10 to 30 minutes of natural outdoor light in the first hour after waking pushes that cortisol where it belongs, early and sharp, which sets everything else, your focus, your energy arc, your nighttime melatonin, in the right direction for the next 16 hours. One note on blue light blockers while we're here. Wearing them in the morning or throughout the day to protect yourself from screens is actually working against you. Blue wavelength light is precisely what those specialized eye neurons respond to most strongly. Save the blue blockers for late at night if you're going to use them at all. Now, about your coffee. Here's something that changed everything for me when I first understood it. Most people stumble out of bed and immediately reach for caffeine. And I get it. But doing that is actually setting yourself up for an energy crash later in the day. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, a molecule that builds up in your system the longer you're awake and makes you feel sleepy. When you drink coffee the moment you wake up, you're blocking adenosine receptors that haven't had a chance to fully clear out yet. By early afternoon, When the caffeine wears off and dislodges from those receptors, the adenosine that's been building up all morning floods back in at once. That's your afternoon wall. You built it yourself at 7 a.m. The solution is to delay your caffeine intake by 90 minutes to 2 hours after waking. Let your natural cortisol rise do its job first. When you eventually take that caffeine, you're building on a system that's already alert, not papering over one that's still half asleep. The result is a cleaner, more consistent energy curve through the whole day. The work block. And how your brain actually wants to focus. Here's a concept from neuroscience that'll change how you plan your mornings. Your brain cycles through roughly 90-minute windows of peak alertness throughout the day, what researchers call ultradian cycles, first described by sleep scientist Nathaniel Kleitman in the 1950s. EEG studies show our brain naturally cycles through different states of alertness and fatigue throughout the day, with peaks lasting approximately 90 minutes, and productivity research indicates performance declines dramatically when people push beyond this natural focus window without breaks. My shift. These aren't metaphors, they're measurable, biological oscillations in brain chemistry and hormone output. So when should your best work happen? Remember that temperature minimum? Your sharpest cognitive window tends to land 4 to 6 hours after that low point. If your temperature minimum was at 4:30 a.m., your prime focus window falls somewhere between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning. That's when your brain's alertness curve is rising steepest. You want to catch that wave, not ignore it. During this 90-minute block, create conditions that protect the work. Turn off the internet if you can. Put the phone in another room. Turn on low-level white noise in the background. Research has shown that soft, non-structured background sound can increase dopamine in the brain's motivation centers, which helps sustain focus. Position your screen at eye level or slightly higher, since there's a documented neurological relationship between where your eyes are directed and your level of alertness. Looking downward actually dims your nervous system's activation. Looking slightly up or directly forward keeps it primed. You probably won't hit peak focus for the first 15 or 20 minutes. That's normal. The tunnel opens gradually, but once you're in it, it feels like the cleanest, most productive mental state you can access, and consistently returning to it trains your brain to get there faster. Exercise and why the timing matters. After that focused work bout, physical movement is the next piece of the puzzle. About an hour of intentional exercise, whether that leans towards strength or endurance, supports everything from brain-derived neurotrophic factor to cardiovascular function to hormone regulation. The research consistently points toward keeping exercise sessions under an hour to avoid prolonged cortisol elevation that can work against your mood and recovery. A useful structure for the week is a rotating 3-to-2 ratio. 3 sessions emphasizing one type of training, 2 emphasizing the other, then flipping that ratio every 10 to 12 weeks. Both resistance training and cardiovascular work contribute to brain health in distinct ways. Resistance training triggers the release of bone-derived hormones like osteocalcin that support neuron function. Endurance work builds out capillary networks in the muscles and increases oxygen utilization throughout the whole body, including the brain. You need both. Not on the same day necessarily, but across the week, both matter. Eating for your brain, not just your body. When it comes to food and how your brain performs, timing counts almost as much as content. Eating a large meal diverts blood flow to your gut, which means less going to your brain. If you want to maintain sharp thinking through the afternoon, keep the first meal of the day on the moderate side. Emphasize protein and healthy fats early. Meats, eggs, nuts, and vegetables support the production of dopamine and norepinephrine, the alertness-promoting neuromodulators. Starchy carbohydrates, on the other hand, increase serotonin. Serotonin is beautiful and necessary, but it tilts your brain toward calm and rest. Save those carbs for dinner. Pasta, rice, sweet potatoes. Let them help you wind down and set the stage for deep sleep. This isn't about being anti-carb. It's about understanding that the same foods that relax you at night will drag you down at noon. One supplement worth adding to your consideration list: at least 1,000 milligrams daily of EPA, the omega-3 fatty acid found in fish oil. Multiple studies have shown this specific form of fatty acid to be as effective as prescription antidepressants in improving mood for people experiencing depression, while also supporting overall brain function. Most Americans don't get close to adequate amounts through food alone. The mid-afternoon reset. Instead of fighting the early afternoon slowdown with another hit of caffeine, consider doing what the research actually supports. A brief, non-sleep deep rest practice, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, using hypnosis, yoga nidra, or guided breathing. These tools share something in common. They induce a state of deep physical relaxation while keeping mental awareness active. Studies from Stanford's psychiatry department have shown that hypnosis specifically activates brain regions responsible for executive focus, internal body awareness, and the default mode network simultaneously. That combination doesn't occur in normal waking states or typical meditation. It's uniquely powerful for resetting your cognitive engine for a second-strong work block without the grogginess that follows a nap. Pair this with an afternoon walk outside. Getting natural light in the late afternoon actually lowers your eye's sensitivity to bright light later in the evening, which protects your melatonin production and helps you fall asleep more easily. It's a small investment for a massive downstream payoff. How to end the day so the next one starts right. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by 1 to 3 degrees to fall and stay asleep. Counterintuitively, a hot shower or bath before bed speeds that process up. Your blood vessels dilate to release heat through your skin, and when you step out of the warmth into a cooler room, your body temperature drops faster than it would have otherwise. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. If you wake at 3 or 4 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, don't fight your mind with your mind. Reach instead for a body-based tool, slow extended exhale breathing, or a short NSDR audio script. These guide your nervous system down through your physiology, which pulls your racing thoughts along with it. If you're looking for supplements to support the transition into sleep, magnesium threonate or magnesium bisglycinate, taken about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and promote GABA release, the brain's primary off switch for overthinking. 50 milligrams of apigenin, the active compound in chamomile, and 100 to 200 milligrams of theanine can complement this by further calming the prefrontal cortex's tendency to rehearse tomorrow's to-do list at midnight. Here's the thread that ties all of this together. None of these protocols require money, equipment, or unusual circumstances. They require timing. Light in the morning, caffeine a little later. Focus when your temperature curve is rising. Movement afterward. Food that matches the brain state you want. Rest in the afternoon. Carbs and warmth at night. Your biology is already running this program. All you're doing is learning to read it and then cooperating with it instead of fighting it. Now, I want to hear from you. Pick just one of these protocols, the morning light walk, the caffeine delay, the 90-minute focus block, the evening carbs, anything that jumped out at you, and commit to trying it for 1 week. Drop it in the comments. Tell me which one you chose and what happened. Real data from your real life is worth more than any study I can cite. Growth is not accidental, it's intentional. If you're ready to build a better version of yourself, welcome. Stay tuned.